Hey guys, so today I have another watch. This one is a Luminox Navy Seal. This one came from eBay and it is not working. I did inspect the movement and it looks like someone either broke it while changing the battery or maybe it was corroded at some point, but it is not running. I tried it with a new battery and it's not running. So I decided the best course of action will be to swap the movement. These watches use a simple Ronda movement with date, and they're easy to get, available everywhere, eBay, any other parts website. It's actually in a really good condition when it comes to like case. Strap is a little dirty, just needs a little cleaning. Everything is good. Buckle is original. Just to show you, the watch does set, and I believe the date changes. Yep, there we go. So before I do anything, I'm just gonna align the hands, all the hands, so it's easier for me to take them off when I'm doing the movement swap. Okay, now that's done. I will remove the strap so it's easier to work on the watch. You don't have to, but it's just gonna make things easier. So it's just held by two spring bars. It goes one side, and I will clean it, so I mean I'll have to take it off anyway. So there we go, that's one side, and the other side, there we go, straightforward. All right, and the next step will be to open the case, which is the case bag is held on by 4 screws, and they're Phillips screws, so Phillips head screwdriver. We're just gonna remove these screws. There we go, last one. Okay. Screws are out. And here's the case back. I can see like it's got fingerprints on here. I don't know if you can see them. Let's see if we can show them on this camera. Right there. So whoever worked on it was probably not someone that dealt with watches. Next thing I'm gonna take out is the gasket, because I'll have to clean it and lubricate it. And then there's a movement spacer, this white movement spacer, which keeps the movement from moving when you pull and push the crown, and keeps it in the center of the watch and makes it so it doesn't move. There we go. That's out. Just to show you, this movement is Ronda 515. So in order for me to pull out the crown and stem, there's a little hole right here, and when you pull the crown, you'll see like a small lever move on the inside, and it's got like a little dot on it. So you press on that dot and it will help you, it will release the stem, and that way you can pull out the crown. So all you gotta do is, there we go, that's all it takes. You just got to be careful. I mean, this movement is gonna be trashed anyway, but if you're servicing a movement and you're not swapping it, just make sure you're not damaging, you're not putting too much pressure. Alright, so now all we got to do is flip this over and the movement comes out. Now the next step for me is to take off the hands. In order to do that, I'm going to use this tool, which is used to pull out the hands. And before I do that, I will cover the dial with this piece of plastic just to protect it, because if you don't do that, it will get scratched. And all you gotta do is insert this so it goes on top of the center of the hands, and squeeze and pull. So notice the hour hand didn't come out because I did not set this all the way down. So we'll do it again. And there we go. Alright, so now the hands are out. We'll just set them aside. We'll put them in here so they're protected, because the hands are very, very fragile. So you don't want to damage them. Okay, cover them. Alright, so the next step will be to take off the dial. And the dial is held by 2 feet, which I can see right here and right here. So there are no screws, because usually with watch movements there are screws on the sides that push on the dial feet to keep them in, but this one doesn't have it. You can just use a tweezer or something. There are like little spaces under the dial. You can squeeze something, but gently like push up. You see that foot right there, the dial foot, it's showing a little bit, but make sure you get both sides out at the same time, otherwise you're gonna risk breaking one of the feet. So you go to the other side and gently, there we go, that one's out. And don't rush this, guys, because this one is very finicky. Sometimes the dial feet break really easy. See, one of them is still in the dial, and I don't want to just lift it. I want to slowly pry it out. There we go. Okay, so the dial is out, and I'm gonna keep it here just to protect it. And this movement will be trashed because like I said, it's broken. Alright, so here's a new movement. Okay, so notice how it says 515, which is the movement number. Like I mentioned, this is a Ronda 515, and it says DT3. It means the date is at 3 o'clock. If you noticed earlier when I took the watch apart, the day was right next to the crown right here, which is at 3 o'clock. Because this movement comes in different variations. Some of them are at 6 o'clock, and I think there's one that's in between 3 and 6, so like around 4:30 or something like that. So now all we need to do is pretty much put on the dial, and then the hands, and then install the movement. But before I do that, I want to just test this movement real quick. Let's pull the crown. Okay, so date changes. The reason why I do this is because I don't want to do the whole thing, put it together, and then find out this movement is defective. So I'm changing the time to see if the date clicks at midnight. There we go. So yeah, all good. So now all we need to do is install the dial and the hands. And like I mentioned before, the dial does have these 2 dial feet. And if you notice on the movement, it does have 2 holes right here. One is right there. Make sure it's in focus. Okay, one is right there, and the other one is right there. So you need to align the dial feet with the holes on the movement, and gently push on the dial. You can see the feet right there, or the 1 foot right there. Gently push. See how it's just sitting snug in there. There we go. And that's how the dial is installed. So before I install the hands, I have to make sure I set the time at midnight. And the way to know that is when the date changes. So when you advance the time and the date changes, you're at midnight. So basically, I'm gonna advance the time once more. And when you start to see the date move a little bit, you need to go slower, as slow as you can until it clicks. Once it clicks, that's when you stop. So there, you see it moved just a little bit, and I'm gonna go slow, like really slow. And there you go. And now I know the watch is at midnight, and that's when the date changes. So next I'll install the hands. I'll just place this on a movement holder so it's easier to manage. Okay, let's get the hands. Got the second hand. You notice it's a little bent, the second hand. So the first one we'll install is the hour hand. And like I said, it needs to be aligned with 12 o'clock. So we'll just slide it on there and make sure it's dead center at 12 o'clock. You need to be very patient with this because it does require a little bit of patience, and you gotta go very slow. Now a lot of people use hand press tools and whatnot. I like to use a tweezer. I'm just more comfortable with a tweezer. But you can get hand set tools. They're available. Okay. Alright, so next is the minute hand. Also needs to be dead center at 12 o'clock. Gently. And always check and see how far it is from the hour hand, because you don't want it to be too close, otherwise it will touch the hour hand and you'll have problems. Alright, I think that's good. Let's test it. You notice I'm testing after installing each hand just to make sure everything works correctly. Okay, that's one cycle, and then we'll get to midnight and see when the date changes. Okay, it's starting. Okay, I think it's very acceptable. I think that's acceptable. I can get it, you know, dead on, but it doesn't have to be. Alright, now we'll install the second hand. Remember to be very gentle. And I'm not squeezing on my tweezers because I don't want to break the paint on the hands. Slowly. There we go. And we'll give it just a little bit of a push. Not too much. There we go. Okay, looks good. Now I'm gonna just move the hands just to make sure they're not making any contact with the second hand. Alright, we have good clearance. So next what I'm gonna do is install a battery just to make sure the movement is working before I put it in the case. I'm gonna set it right here just so that it's easier. There we go. Alright. Here we need to slide this lever right here and install the battery. So now, if we push the crown in, we should have a working watch. And we have a working watch. I'm just gonna put it right here to protect it. Just leave it in here. And I want to see if I need to clean the case. There is a little bit of stuff like over here. You can see right there. A little bit of dirt accumulated. I'm just gonna wipe it. It doesn't really need a wash or anything. I feel like it's very clean. Alright, so I'm gonna use one of these rags just to wipe the case. Crystal is a little dirty. I'm gonna focus on here just to make sure I get all that dirt out. That's good enough. Okay. Case back maybe needs a little cleaning. There was a couple fingerprints on it. Okay. All good. And we're ready for assembly. Okay. We'll get the movement. And like I said, I'm not going to be using this old stem, so I'm going to take it out. So what I'll do is I'll pull the stem. And then I'll set it right here just so it's just more secure this way. I don't want to damage anything. Because you apply just a tiny bit of force on the lever here to take out the stem. Okay, and that's out. All right, we don't need that anymore. And I'm gonna use this blower just to make sure there's no tiny specks of dust or things like that on the dial, and also do the same with the case. Again with the dial, and we will insert the movement inside the case now, just like that. Flip it over, take the original crown, run it through, and gently twist a little bit and push. There we go, and it's in. Now to make it more secure, I'm just gonna add the movement spacer over here. This is gonna make it a lot more secure. Next, I'm cleaning the gasket and lubricating it. Okay, that's all it takes. It wasn't that bad, and it doesn't need replacing because it's actually in pretty good shape. And gasket goes in. And let's make sure this is on the right orientation. Okay, so that's your top, this is the bottom. Facing the movement. Okay, as you can see, the watch is working, and we fixed it. Now all that is left is to install the band. I'm gonna clean it and install it and show you what it looks like after the band is cleaned. Alright, here's the band, all clean. Good. And let's install it. Let me know what you guys think of this video, and if you want to see more repairs of quartz watches or mechanicals or digital watches. I kind of like do a little bit of everything on this channel. So I have mechanical watches, I have a lot of Casios, and I did a couple quartz watches. Like I did a movement replacement for a Hamilton, and this was, I guess, my second one, maybe, and maybe a couple fixes on other quartz watches. So yeah, this is what it looks like, and it's a very cool watch. I really like it. I like the contrast between the black and the yellow. And like I said, this came from eBay. And let me just measure it just so you guys can see what it measures at. So I'm measuring by the crown guards and the other side of the case. So it's about 45, close to 45. And about 11 millimeters thick. Lug to lug on this one is about 45. Yeah, really cool watch. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. This watch will be available for sale on my website, thetimekeep.com, for a very reasonable price, of course. And I also started running auctions on Whatnot every now and then. We sold a huge collection of Timex watches just the other day, which was really cool. And if you guys want to join me on Whatnot, I'll leave the link down in the description. I think you get $15 credit you can spend on whatever you like. And maybe you'll join me in my next show when I do the next auction. And also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm also on Instagram at the_time_keep. And again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, leave the comment, and all that good stuff. That helps me a lot because these videos take a while and they take a lot of work. I'll leave you with a few shots of the watch, and thank you.